Hello everyone and welcome to Cooking with Grizz1y, but at a different angle from what we're used to from a couple years ago. Sorry if you hear tearing in the back, that would be my cat with some paper. She just likes to tear paper. Anyways, today we are going to be trying to make beef Wellington. So I got everything from a grocery store. I didn't go to like a butcher or anything, which would probably give you a bit better cut of meat. But I wanted to see if everything could be done from just a standard grocery store. So this is everything we got. We have our puff pastry, we have the beef tenderloin here, we have a couple packs of prosciutto, a ton of mushrooms in there, some eggs for the egg wash later, some fresh thyme, I got some shallots, garlic, Dijon mustard, some olive oil, salt, and pepper. That's what you're going to need to make this. We're going to have some other things because this is also our dinner, so we'll have asparagus and mashed potatoes as well. I'll pull that stuff out later though. For now, most of this is going back in the fridge while we start with the tenderloin. All right, let's get to it. Okay, I got my cutting board here and then the tenderloin, which we're going to get open. I'm hoping I can just open a side and then that will be enough for me to pull it out. Got partially out. You know, I'm realizing I should probably, let's roll these up a little bit. Let's push these up a little bit so that way they don't get in the meat juices. I'm just gonna get this all open and pull this out. I will say this is definitely a very new way for me to cook. I have never had a camera in front of my face for this. This is a beef tenderloin, right? Beef tenderloin in the bag. That's what it says. You gotta remember, I have to move my whole body when I'm doing something, not just like my arms and stuff. Let me move the knife for a second because I want to get a good look at this. Oh boy, this is very cold. This is not very solid. It's almost like they cut out all the stuff already. So you're supposed to... Ooh, not sure about that smell. I'm not... A meat just flew off to the side. I don't know if this is going to work. So all this fat has to come out. So like this whole chunk needs to come out. And it also says take off the silver, which I believe is all this. So we'll cut that. And then what I might need to do is maybe put this into some foil, or not foil, but some cling wrap and tighten it really well and just let it sit for like half an hour, and really kind of mush together a little bit. Like I said, this is grocery store. We're gonna see how it goes. This bit is like completely falling apart. That's crazy. I probably should have gone to a butcher, but you know what? Let's start by getting the silver off and then we'll just go from there. Let me wash off one of my hands at least. All right, let's start by getting all the silver out of. I do wish I also had a much larger cutting board, but the only other cutting board I have is about the similar size lengthwise. So let's just try and get all the silver cut out. Motto, you need to get off the counter. I have cats. This is life with cats. Psst. Psh, psh. Off. Let me deal with this. Alright, so that's pretty good. So So if we fold it over like that, it would look like that. But if I cut this in half because it's the same and flip it, I think we'll be able to make it cylindrical. So I'll do that. Where's the half? So right about there. Perfect. Could I be making a bad decision? Absolutely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this. We're going to wrap it up into some saran wrap really tight to see if we can get it kind of to stick together. And then probably in an hour we'll pull this out to cook it. And that I'll put in a bag to eat later. It almost looks like a liver. And once we get this put away, we will get the mushrooms going. And we still have to deal with cats. All right, here we got our saran wrap. I will also say, if we're having guests over, I'll make sure the cats are entirely off the counter. When it's just us, I don't really worry about it too much. We live with them. They live with us. You know, it's living with cats. So. All right, new cutting board, and then we also have our food processor here because that's what we're going to be using to cut up the shallots and the mushrooms. The garlic, we're just apparently just needs to get a few slices, which actually I don't even need one of those. I kind of forget shallots are part of the onion family, so now I'm kind of crying a little bit. I forget about that. Alright, let's get that all tossed in. And then this close up, and then we're just going to pulse this till they're small. So let's do that. Cover your ears if you don't like loud things. Oh God, my eyes, they burn. All right, there we go. We got that all nice and chopped. What I didn't do was I didn't turn this on. I forgot to do that. So we're gonna turn this on. Let's go medium high. So we're gonna start by cooking these, get those all done, and then you put the mushroom in once they're translucent. While that's heating up, we can actually get the mushrooms a little bit more prepared. Let's just rip this open a little bit. So, all the butts need to come out. Okay, all the mushrooms are nice, cut up, ready to go. I just cut them into corners to make it a little bit easier because I think I'm going to have to do in batches because that thing's kind of small. How are you doing heat-wise? Okay, you're plenty heated. So let's go get our our spatula. I think we'll do a little bit of olive oil just to make sure the pan isn't too dry for this. Okay, so since the mushrooms are done, we are going to get these in the pan. I gotta get the pan heating back up a little bit. These definitely stick a little bit, but I think all this will come up once the mushrooms are in because the mushrooms will have a lot of water. So this should all come up with the mushrooms in there. Let that heat up for a minute. We'll keep doing. I forgot to add the garlic, but that should be okay because I should be able to just blitz it real quick and throw it in there even if it's already in the pan. Okay, so based on some videos, this should be pretty much done. It did say add some salt and pepper, which I need to do. Like, some said add salt and pepper, some didn't. So I'm gonna add some salt and pepper now. We won't add too much because the meat's also gonna get some salt and pepper. Plus this prosciutto is gonna be salty. But then they also add fresh thyme. Alright, so we got our meat log here, and hopefully this will work. Let's see if that will be like a perfect size. I'm really hoping this worked. Let me get this back on the stove top. And I think we'll use butter in there. So let me get that going. Okay, so we're going to get this turned back on again. We're going to go medium high, almost to high, because we're going to sear that meat. I got a nice big glob of butter. We're gonna keep this wrapped up until it's time to go. Actually, I'm gonna throw it back in the fridge until it's time to go. Let me get a... Alright, we got a little bit of steaming there. Hunk of butter in. Now we're gonna unroll this for the moment of truth. Did my idea work? Or is this gonna be an absolute failure? I really hope this works because I don't have another piece of meat to use. With that, the butter just melts. Get ready to go. Oops. Sorry about that angle. That was a cinematic view for some reason. Come on. Be nice. Come out. Oh, did you get stuck? No, you did not. Okay, seems like it's holding for now. We'll see if it holds once it gets in the pan. So I'll salt this side for now. It says don't go too heavy because prosciutto is salty. I know you'd use a lot of salt with meat. Let's get this. Woo! Let me turn on the fan here. Get this all going. Might be a little bit of leftover mushroom in there, but alright. Pick this up. Get searing. Oh, damn it. I had it way too hot. And I broke the meat because I had it way too high. That is definitely still falling apart a little bit. I don't cook meat regularly, I'll tell you that right now. That fan going, I need to get the other windows open, but I can't with this on thing. I can keep this on first. So that is probably good. I know this is kind of falling apart, but that's fine. It's going, I got this fuck this thing up. Alright, shit. Put that off. Well, that was eventful. If you couldn't tell, I really don't cook meat much. Also, I was basing off the heat off of that one based on our left. Our left or the right one, it gets really hot really fast. That one did not think it would get that hot. So that was a little wild, crazy time. I have some fan going. I did get it browned, a little over brown. It is falling apart in a couple spots. But I think if I don't move it until I get it rolled up, it should be okay. Because I think once it's rolled into everything, it should be fine. I wasn't able to get the ends really properly browned like I would have liked. Because one, it was falling apart, and two, because oh my god, everything was like smoke everywhere because I'm not good at this and doing my best. So we're gonna let both of these cool down and then we're gonna start rolling it and getting it ready. Next will be the prosciutto and combining these. See you in a moment. I did forget a step. I need to brush this with mustard. So let's do that while it's still sitting here. Okay, we got the prosciutto laid out. I made sure it's long enough for that, and I think it'll be enough to roll over. But now, what we gotta do next is actually take this and get it on here and flatten it out. I just realized I forgot to put black pepper on the Parma ham. So we're gonna do a little bit on here. And I might do a little bit on the outside of the Parma ham. prosciutto, parmesan, whatever it's called. Alright, so let's move that to the side. And then now we're going to take this, pick it up, and put it right there. Okay, now I'm going to wipe this off real quick. Just because it will make it easier to grab what I need to grab. Because now what we're going to do is we got to roll it up. Okay, get out of there. Stay together. Let me grab. Why is this tearing apart? Why are you tearing apart? What are you doing? Let me just. Crap. Spatula. Actually, let me grab these two. We're going to do a little patchwork real quick, because I don't think that's going to cover everything. So we'll just do a little flap right there. I guess it's good we had a couple extra slices, because it seems like it's not wanting to come up quite as well as it should. Let me grab all of this. Oh, don't separate, you need to be stuck together. Okay. Now we gotta roll this like this, make it nice and tight. And then we gotta let this sit in the fridge for at least 15 minutes. I might do one more wrap just to make sure it's even tighter. Let's do that, because I think can I fit on one? Just about. There we go. So it's in there, I think about as tight as I can get it. Okay, so now that's gotta go in the fridge and sit for at least 15 minutes. So we'll get that sit in there. And while that's going, we gotta turn on the oven. Let's see, so it said 200 degrees Celsius. We're at our Celsius, so that's 392. I'm thinking we'll go 390. We'll do that. Make sure our thing, that's about the height you want. So we'll get that going, and then we'll be doing 35 minutes. Let's get the egg yolk ready. Okay, so what we're going to do now, which actually, let me get a paper towel so I don't get egg all over my counter. What we're going to do now is we're going to make the egg wash. The one that Ramsey did, he just did egg yolk, and that was it. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to save the white because I'll just make myself some eggs tomorrow. Let's get some more cling wrap down as it falls over. Sure, that's fine. Good thing we got a huge thing of cling wrap. So just so obviously this one uses, this is probably the most amount of saran wrap, cling wrap, whatever you want to call it, that I've used in a long time. And the oven is ready to go. Let's grab this. Feels like something's crawling on my face suddenly. Crack it open. I'm hoping this is big enough. Oh, hello. I've never tested out. Oh, I'm a little too zoomed in. There you go. I've never tried this puff pastry before. Saw it in the store. This looks like it'd be wide enough just as is. Do I need to... Let's go like this. Ooh, look at that. Doing just one sheet might be plenty, actually. Little bit of crackage as we go towards the center. Might need to let this sit out for a few minutes. That's definitely more than enough. Let me see how big the meat is. The meat. Just staring into my fridge for a minute. Ooh, that's a little short. Eee. So should I overlap the pastry? Hold on. See, because we're still gonna have the edges that need to be done. I wonder. Kind of squish this like this, because it'd seem kind of crazy to do 2 sheets for just a tiny look. Ooh, what I could do, I'll let this warm up a little bit, and then I think I can roll it out just a little bit thinner each way, and that should do it. Let me see how much of this we should need. So I can cut off right down here and we'll be fine. I won't cut off too far yet, but I'll let this warm up and let this continue to cool a little bit longer, and then we'll get it wrapped. I might just put a little bit, squish a little bit more on the ends. I'll take this and go a little bit like this. We're gonna roll it up, see, and maybe just fill in the ends. we're just going crazy a little bit. We're trying things. I'm hoping this works. And I need to stop rolling it that way because that would suck to just roll off the counter. I would probably cry. Okay, please just stay together. Please don't fall apart. Please don't stay too stuck to the cling film. Okay, let's grab that. Let's shove that back in the edge. Okay, I need to pull a knife over at some point. Oh yeah, there we go. I can feel it collapsing inside. I'm gonna grab a knife because I need to trim this off. That worked surprisingly well doing that. It's not sticking together for a second. Okay, put that, push there, push these edges in, bring this up and kind of meld it together. Push the edges in, push this over. It's not gonna look the prettiest, but we're gonna get there. Pull it back just a little bit. Okay, just kind of squish this together. You need to go back into your cocoon as I squish all this over and get you all squished together. Pinch it, make sure you stay. Same with this side, get you all pinched together. You got a little bit of an escapee down here at the bottom. You stay there. I think we got it. This thing is getting freaking huge. Okay, so next, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna get rid of this. We're gonna roll it up in saran wrap again. Oh god. Oop. Nope, you stay. Now grab the edges, just roll it, get it nice and tight as I can. And I know this is going back in the fridge. We'll probably do half an hour in the fridge. Alright, we got it pulled back out. Feels a bit more solid, so hopefully it doesn't fall apart on us. When we put it on a pan, we're gonna put it on this pan here. Doesn't say to put anything on the pan. I kind of want to put some oil, but I don't know. Since it doesn't say to put anything on, actually, hold on. Okay, so yeah, it does not say to put anything on the pan to keep it from sticking. So we're just gonna go as is. I have to find the edges. Where's the edge? We got one. Where's the edge? There you are. Let's just, we want to kind of unwrap this in here, so hopefully I don't have to like transfer it. Oh, I don't like how that feels. I feel like that's gonna stick. But I gotta trust the process, right? I gotta trust the process. Alright, so egg wash. Alright, we are at 35 minutes. Time to pop this out of the oven. Oh, listen to that sizzle. You can't really see it because of the angle I have to be at. Oh, and now it's got to rest for 10 minutes. I'm gonna put this up here. You can't even see it. There we go. Got the asparagus going. We got this looking pretty good. We got a nice crispy top. And now we gotta let this rest for at least 10 minutes. Alright, asparagus looks done. So let's take that out. Turn off the oven because we don't need it anymore. And we'll set this here. Yum, that looks delicious. And now, this has cooled off. It has rested for at least 10 minutes. And we're going to cut into it. Ooh, I need to get some sort of spatula. Okay, so we are losing the bottom of this, unfortunately. Damn. Yeah. Try and get it the best I can. Get this down like this. I probably should have put some sort of foiling or something underneath. But it did not say to, so I didn't. Alright, there we go. Get that out of the way. And now it's time to cut this open and see how it looks. Raw. It's raw. Fuck. Okay. Damn. Alright, so I had to put it back in the oven for about another 10 minutes at 400. Let's cut another slice and see how it looks now. That's much better. Maybe still a little under what I was hoping, but truthfully, I think that's okay. Unfortunately, I have lost the bottom, so it is kind of falling apart. Let me grab the spatula. Put this over here. That's not bad, actually. That looks pretty good. Like I said, might be a little bit under in the middle, but I did temp check it, so it should have been about right. Let's do one more piece off for myself. Get dinner all plated up. Alright, I got my plate here. Let's try each of these. Let's start with the asparagus. I'm just doing small pieces so it's easier to eat quickly, I guess, as I can't seem to pick it up with my left hand whatsoever. I'm not good using my left hand. Asparagus is good. Top is crispy. Rest is nice and soft. Mashed potatoes. Plenty of salt, garlic, cheesy. And now the piece de resistance. Might let Zach choose a different piece on his because it's a little bit raw on his, but mine looks pretty good. So let's get a piece of the meat. Then make sure we get, I'm going to do a little bit smaller piece because I don't have the biggest mouth for this. Alright, so there's that. Obviously need some of the pastry with whatever that stuff is called, the mushroom mix. Let's try it. Okay. So, meat's still a little bit chewy, but not bad. There is a little hint of salt. I kind of get a lot more of the peppery flavor. There is a slight bitter tang, probably from the mushroom, but it mixes really well, and the prosciutto gives a really good flavor. I'm pretty sure the salt flavor is from the prosciutto. Overall, it's really good, especially for my first try. I definitely think a professional would be much better, and it's something I would definitely like to try in a restaurant. But I think not too bad for a first try. Should I do it again? Let me know in the comments below. Should I go and get fancier ingredients to hopefully make it better? I don't know. Alright guys, let me know what you want me to cook next and what you want to cook with Grizz1y. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'll see you later. Bye bye.